So why is it you don't have a chin? I was made in 2014. Giving me a chin would have required another year of engine work. Yikes. Welcome to the resource area, a little piece of content that was released all the way back in 2014 with the first Wilderness Rejuvenation update. This update was in fact so long ago that it was the biggest update old school RuneScape had received to that point. It introduced things like the Wildy God Wars dungeon, the Fountain of Rune, and red Chinchompas. That's right, they weren't black Chinchompas until a week later. It also included 6 new bosses. Honestly, it's insane the amount of things that were introduced to the Wildy with this single update. However, while the update was exciting back then, the lack of adjustments to some of these spots have left them nearly barren almost 10 years later. The resource area is one of those places. Upon its release, it housed various ores and trees that could be gathered. In addition, it also had 2 runite golems that could be killed and mined for 1 runite ore each. The unique aspect of this area was that you could note all of the resources at this guy named Piles. The reason why it was pretty good back then was because places like the Expanded Mining Guild and Woodcutting Guild didn't exist. On top of materials, there was also the Dark Crab fishing spot, as well as an anvil and a furnace, which is kind of interesting. It almost seems like the grand purpose of this area was to mine your ores, smelt them into bars, and then smith them into armor or weapons so that you could then alch them. After that, you could just rinse and repeat, which is a pretty good idea. You're getting mining XP, smithing XP, and GP all at once? I think we should test this method out. That's why I've spent 500 million GP to get myself the best mage gear possible so we can kill those runite golems with ease. Let's get out there.
Hey you, with the excessive amounts of hair.
What? I don't even have facial hair.
I'm not talking about your chin, I'm talking about your Chinchompas.
My what?
That's right, buddy. With Manscaped, we're gonna give those Chinchompas the Egyptian cat treatment.
That looks horrifying.
Yeah, well, your balls look horrifying, so I wouldn't judge.
Manscaped. Where would I be without your lovely products? Certainly would have more bothersome hairs in my ear and nose, but with a weed whacker, that takes care of them nicely. What else may come in this Performance Package 4.0? Well, we've got the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and the Crop Reviver Ball Toner, and of course the new star of the show, the Lawnmower 4.0, with its waterproof exterior, skin-safe replaceable ceramic blades, and adjustable guard sizes. I mean, look at that sucker. I don't know what kind of bush you're going for, but all of this can be neatly packaged up in the Shed travel bag. So be a man and get yourself some Manscaped products from my link in the description. You can get 20% off if you enter the promo code. Thanks again to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. Now, I know what you might be thinking. PP, why don't you just note the ores on piles? You'd make more money that way. And to that I say, foolish you. If I do that, I won't get any smithing XP. Clearly, you're not thinking of efficiency here. I mean, this is the intended use for the resource area, right? JAGEX wouldn't lie to me.
It's only 75 smithing XP to smith a root axe.
It's okay, this method's good. This method's good. Why can't I attack this runite golem? Hello? You alright, buddy? Amazing. You know, the real sad thing is killing these runite golems in max mage still isn't nearly as much DPS as just using an Ursine Chainmace. Even though the runite golems have 1 mage defense and 1 mage level, it is still better to use an Ursine Chainmace. That just goes to show how bad the Cursed Scepter is with its autocast, although it's amazing for barraging. You know, this might sound crazy, but I'm actually kind of enjoying this. Like, sure, it's extremely slow and it's definitely not meta, but it's kind of fun making all of the resources yourself and then alching it. Well, after doing this for a bit, I can confirm that the superior mining gloves do not work on runite golem rocks. Am I disappointed? Yes, but am I shocked? No. Oh, and now I can't click on it. By the way, I found out that that's actually a RuneLite bug. If I was to be playing on the vanilla client, I wouldn't have this issue, but then that means I gotta play on the vanilla client, so. I just splashed on something with 1 mage level and 0 mage defense in this gear. Please don't do it to me 2 times in a row. Oh my god. Twice in a row. All the way back in 2014, JAGEX thought to themselves, you know what would be better than mining the runite rock right away? What if you had to kill something and then you could mine the runite rock? Even better yet, if you don't mine the rock within a minute after killing it, you don't get anything at all. Isn't that great? We're gonna be going for 1 million GP. How's that sound? Look at this man, witnessing the best moneymaker of all time. He must be dumbfounded. I'm a legend to this man, apparently. And there we have it officially, halfway there, 504k. I honestly wonder if runite golems were ever popular. Even on day of release, I wonder if these things were killed. Because they're just that bad, man. I mean, maybe, possibly, the first week some people killed these, and then they realized that it was just better to mine runite rocks, so they went somewhere else. If you ever feel worthless, just look at the superior mining gloves in my inventory. Every slot has a purpose, except for you. Oh boy, I wasn't paying attention. I was not paying. Whoa! Buddy! You can't just be throwing 41s on me like that. Okay, what's happening here? Where are the freezes at? That's ridiculous. Well, now we know why I brought this lobster cage as well as the dark fishing bait. I'll go with one just so I have some extra inventory space. Oh my god, I swear, every single time I go onto Reddit and I read an opinion about the wilderness, my blood levels just raise so greatly.
Oh, more Wildy updates, huh? What do you think this is gonna revive the wilderness this time?
Good one! 700k, let's give it up for 700k. Good luck on whatever the hell you're doing.
Yeah, that's an appropriate response.
This guy left 350 coins on the ground. That's bank money right there. Screw it, I'm taking that money. Give me that. He teleblocked me? What are you doing, bro?
Good fight.
So after doing this for a while, I realized I can never click on the Runite Golem after it respawns. So it was a bug with Runelight. I went to GitHub, I reported the bug, and now a day later, it's fixed. Once this Runite Golem respawns, I can click on it again. So there you go, everybody using Runelight. If you wanted to do this insane moneymaker, you now don't have to deal with that bug because of me. You're welcome. There's no way it's gonna do it to me twice in a row. Don't worry, it's not gonna happen. There's no way I'm gonna miss out on this Runite. How you doing, man? And ladies and gentlemen, that is 1 million GP made in the resource area. For the stats, we got a magic XP rate of 12k an hour, a mining XP rate of 13k an hour, and a smithing XP rate of 3.3k an hour. Riveting. Now, even though this method isn't good by any means, I still think it's an interesting concept. It just needs to not be garbage. And thankfully, it looks like just recently ModManked and ModGoblin have been working on possible tweaks to this area in their recent Game Jam project. So I'm going to go through a few of their ideas in addition to filling you in on some of mine. Let's first give an invisible mining and woodcutting boost that is more than the boost from the mining and woodcutting guilds. ModManked and Goblin are proposing a 14 level boost. Now we can double the yield of all resources in the area. Note that this double yield would not give you double XP. My initial idea was to also have the respawn rate of the ores be better than that of the guilds, but I think ModManked and Goblin have a better proposal. Rich ore veins. These veins would be unique in the fact that they would never deplete, but they would switch around their positions based on a 1-minute timer. I personally would find it even more fun if this switching process had a chance to spawn a runite rock once every 15 minutes or so, or it could just be completely random. One more bit of information from ModGoblin is that these ores would be in 3x3 clusters scattered throughout the area, but all of them would be active at once, so you could choose which ore you wanted to mine. Then you could add on a special mechanic to the furnace and the anvil. The furnace could take on the properties of blast furnace, meaning that you could smelt all of the bars in one go. As an added bonus, this particular furnace does not need coal to be used, as coal is not needed since the furnace's fuel comes from lava. Then the anvil would have the same property, allowing you to smith a full inventory of bars immediately. To prevent abuse of these mechanics, entry to the resource area would be prohibited if the player was trying to bring resources in. This would prevent alt accounts trading over supplies so that you could get ridiculous XP rates. Next, we have another idea from Manked and Goblin: enrich trees. The volcanic ground enriches the trees in the area, giving them the ability to never deplete, and providing double resources, but not double XP. This next idea comes from me, and it's a diary reward for a scaling risk mechanic. After 10 minutes inside of the resource area, you get a 20% higher yield. At 20 minutes, it's 40% higher, and it would cap at 1 hour, with the yield being 100% higher. This, of course, is a risk versus reward incentive. The longer you risk being inside of the area, the more you're rewarded in doing so. That particular scaling would be for the elite tier diary and Wildy, and there would be lower scalings for the hard, medium, and easy tiers. Lastly, this idea comes from me as well, and it's blighted tools. There would be blighted minerals and blighted bark that would drop periodically from the resources. These stackable drops could be traded into Mandarith for 2 new wilderness items. Spending 500 blighted minerals would get you the blighted pickaxe, a pickaxe that needs to be charged with 2,500 rev ether and needs additional ether to use. You would use 1 ether for every ore mined. This effect is almost identical to that of the wilderness weapons. The benefit of your risk would be a very fast pickaxe. 2 tick to be exact. This speed would make it impossible to tick manipulate, so faster XP rates would still be doable outside of the Wildy, but it would still make mining inside of the wilderness very desirable. The axe would mostly work the same. 2,500 rev ether to charge, and the speed that the axe cuts is reduced to 3 ticks instead of the standard 4 ticks. Again, this should still keep Wildy below the best XP rates since all you can cut is yew and magic trees, but it will raise your GP per hour. As you can see, my focus here is making Wildy XP rates more competitive while not being the best, yet at the same time making a good amount of money. With all these changes, you'd have many different ways to train skills in the wilderness, with options on whether you'd like mostly XP, mostly GP, or a mix of the two. Once again, let me know what you think of the ideas in the comments below, and maybe, just maybe, we might be able to revive one of the deadest spots that RuneScape has ever seen. Check out this trailer. Let me introduce you to the newly reworked Wildy boss, Venenatus. This boss has a unique mechanic where the more spiders in her room, the harder she hits.
We got one!
Don't die, don't die. Don't die.
We got another! This is amazing!
Big thanks goes to Mr. Snowmiser, Hamster King 5, Mia IRL, and Samuel Peterson.